You walk around operating at 40% of your true physical and mental capacity, suppressed by chronic blue light, shallow breathing, and mineral depleted food. Most people think they need an expensive genetic therapy or an illegal chemical cocktail to unlock peak human performance. That is a myth. This is how you find the true potential of your body. If you want to eradicate chronic fatigue and unlock a wellspring of clean, unshakable physical energy, you must target the literal power plants of your cells, the mitochondria. The mitochondrial ignition protocol consists of a precise combination of pure Himalayan shilajit, high-dose ubiquinol, and targeted cold shock therapy. Here is the exact biological science behind why this workflow is so effective. Your body generates energy through a currency called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. This process happens inside your mitochondria via the electron transport chain. In the modern world, toxins and a lack of movement slow down the electron chain, leaving you feeling heavy, sluggish, and dependent on caffeine. Pure Himalayan shilajit is packed with fulvic acid, an organic compound that acts as an ultra-powerful biological electron shuttle. When you ingest shilajit, the fulvic acid physically carries electrons directly into the mitochondrial matrix, accelerating ATP production. But there's a massive catch. To finalize this energy transfer, your cells require coenzyme Q10. Most people buy standard, cheap ubiquinone supplements, which your liver must convert before they can be used, wasting massive amounts of metabolic energy. You must use the reduced form, ubiquinol, which enters the bloodstream instantly. To force this cellular machinery to multiply, you pair these raw materials with a sudden 3-minute exposure to 45-degree water. This intense cold shock instantly triggers a biological pathway called PGC1-alpha, meaning it literally forces your body to build entirely new, hyperdense networks of cellular power plants. Your endocrine system is the master command network regulating your strength, muscle mass, drive, and fat-burning capabilities. When your hormones are suppressed, you experience stubborn fat accumulation, muscle wasting, and a complete loss of ambition. To awaken your latent hormonal blueprint, you must do the endocrine surge. This protocol requires high-dose boron citrate, standardized Tongkat Ali extract, and a strict elimination of environmental synthetic estrogens. Most men and women have plenty of total hormones circulating their bloodstreams, but they can't access them. They feel weak because their hormones are bound tightly by a protein called sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG. When your hormones are locked in this chemical straitjacket, they can't enter your cells to trigger tissue repair, strength gains, or fat metabolism. High-dose boron citrate physically unbinds these vital hormones from SHBG, instantly skyrocketing your free bioactive hormone levels. Simultaneously, Tongkat Ali acts directly on the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, signaling your body to maximize its raw native production. But here's the hidden physiological trap that ruins most people's health. Your body is constantly under siege by xenoestrogens. These are synthetic chemicals found in standard plastics, commercial body washes, and synthetic fragrances that mimic hormones. They bind to your cellular receptors and trick your body into downregulating its own natural production. To make this surge permanent, you must ruthlessly eliminate plastic water bottles, switch to organic chemical-free soaps, and take a high-quality magnesium glycinate at night. The magnesium suppresses the stress hormone cortisol, which otherwise acts like a biological brake, destroying your metabolic output before it can even begin. True physical potency is entirely useless if your brain is operating in a state of scattered focus, brain fog, and low dopamine density. Your brain controls your muscles. If your neural firing is weak, your physical output will be weak. To achieve absolute cognitive dominance and hyper-focus, you must initiate the neurosymmetry protocol. The blueprint is highly specific. You consume alpha-GPC combined with a water-soluble lion's mane mushroom extract, followed immediately by 10 minutes of unshielded direct morning sunlight viewing. To understand why this works, you have to look at the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, the primary chemical responsible for focus, spatial awareness, and muscular contraction velocity. Alpha-GPC is a highly bioavailable source of choline that crosses the brain-blood barrier with ease, providing the immediate raw material your brain needs to synthesize massive amounts of acetylcholine. When you stack this with lion's mane mushroom extract, you trigger the release of nerve growth factor, a biological protein that actively repairs and thickens the myelin sheaths surrounding your neurons. This drastically increases the conduction velocity of your nervous system, allowing thoughts and physical reactions to move faster. The critical biological catch involves your light environment. If you swallow these cognitive enhancers while sitting in a dark room staring at a smartphone screen, you ruin the effect. Artificial LED light creates neural chaos by mimicking midday sun at the wrong times, scattering your focus. You must step outside within 30 minutes of waking and allow raw, unshielded solar photons to hit your retinas. This light spikes your suprachiasmatic nucleus, which immediately shuts down melatonin production, drops adenosine levels, and primes your dopamine receptors to perfectly receive the newly synthesized acetylcholine. It creates an instant state of calm, unshakable mental clarity. Your organs and muscles can only perform at their true peak if they are heavily saturated with oxygen, glucose, and vital micronutrients. Most people suffer from chronic microconstriction of their blood vessels due to elevated stress, poor posture, and artificial stimulants. To open the floodgates of your cardiovascular network, you must deploy the vasodilatory expander. This protocol utilizes a highly strategic blend of pure L-citrulline malate, fermented red spinach extract, and premium pine bark extract. The goal here is the total saturation of nitric oxide within your endothelial cells. Nitric oxide is a signaling molecule that commands the smooth muscle lining of your blood vessels to relax, widen, and expand. Many athletes take standard L-arginine to achieve this, but that is a massive waste of time and money. The liver rapidly destroys oral L-arginine before it ever reaches the bloodstream. L-citrulline malate, however, completely bypasses the liver, traveling straight to the kidneys where it's efficiently converted into pure systemic arginine, flooding your body with nitric oxide. By pairing this with fermented red spinach extract, you introduce a massive dose of natural dietary nitrates, which utilize a completely secondary biological pathway to create nitric oxide, ensuring total vascular dilation. But the real magic happens when you add pine bark extract. This potent antioxidant contains unique compounds called proanthocyanidins. Nitric oxide is a highly volatile molecule that normally breaks down within seconds of being created. Pine bark extract physically shields nitric oxide from free radical destruction, extending its lifespan in your blood vessels from seconds to hours. This forces highly oxygenated, nutrient-dense blood into your deep muscle tissue and brain capillaries, drastically reducing physical fatigue and multiplying your stamina. You cannot possess true physical power during the day if your nervous system fails to completely recover at night. Real recovery doesn't happen just because you're unconscious. It only happens when you enter the deep restorative stages 3 and 4 of sleep. To fix your broken recovery architecture, you must execute the circadian hard reset. This protocol requires a completely blacked out sleeping environment, the total elimination of electromagnetic field exposure near your bed, and a combination of magnesium threonate and apigenin taken exactly 60 minutes before sleep. Your body transitions between two branches of the autonomic nervous system, the fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, rest and digest. Most people spend their nights in a low-grade state of sympathetic alert because of ambient light leaks from windows, electronics, and EMF radiation from Wi-Fi routers next to their heads. This subtle simulation prevents the brain from dropping into the deepest phases of sleep. To force this neurological shift, you must unplug your router, place your phone on airplane mode across the room, and use blackout curtains to achieve pitch darkness. Magnesium threonate is unique because it easily crosses the blood-brain barrier to saturate your central nervous system, blocking stressful NMDA receptors and calming chaotic brainwaves. Apigenin, a bioflavonoid extracted from chamomile, binds directly to GABA-A receptors in the brain, signaling your central nervous system that the danger is gone. When your brain enters this deep, undisturbed parasympathetic state, your pituitary gland responds by releasing a massive surge of human growth hormone. This hormone is the ultimate tool for cellular repair, tissue regeneration, and neural detoxification. You wake up the next morning feeling physically lighter, neurologically restored, and completely primed to perform. Your body is an incredibly sophisticated biological machine that is hardwired to thrive, conquer, and endure. Remember that. If you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel.